Good morning, students. I hope you all are doing fine. I'm Sarai, your science teacher. Today we will be discussing about your first chapter, that is nutrition in plants. Okay. Before that, I just want to ask you that when we take food, exactly what we are taking in. You will say it's a complex food material, isn't it? But I will say that we are taking nutrients, okay? And you know the form of nutrients, that is carbohydrate, fats, proteins, vitamins, minerals, okay? All these things we get from food, isn't it? So where do you get this food? You'll say we cook in house, but no. We get food from other plants, other animals, isn't it? Because we are omnivores, we eat everything, we eat fruits, vegetables and flesh too, okay? So we get food from other organisms, isn't it? So which food we are taking in is exactly nothing but a complex food material, okay? We take complex food and then we digest that complex food into simpler form, okay? So in this chapter we will deal nutrition in plants. We are not talking about human beings or any animals. We will talk about plants, okay? So you know how plants take their food. They don't go to shop, they don't cook in kitchen, isn't it? They cook food in themselves only. They cook food from sunlight, with the help of sunlight, water, carbon dioxide, what we exhale in air, okay? So the food is prepared by themselves, that is plants. So that's why they are known as autotrophs, okay? Just look at it. Plants are autotrophs, okay? Plants are autotrophs. Autotroph means, auto means self and trophos means nourishment. That is, they do their self nourishment, okay? Because they also need nutrients, they also need energy. And why we need energy? We need energy to grow in size, to repair ourselves if we get any injury, isn't it? For the metabolic activities what we are going through, okay? So the plants also need energy, okay? So they get energy from their food, and where they get food, they cook their food within themselves, and that's why their mode of nutrition is autotropic, okay? They are autotrophs, that is self nourishing, okay? Trophos means nourishment, auto means self, okay? So they are autotrophs. But what about plants? What about animals? Plants are autotrophs, sorry, but what about animals? Animals are not autotrophs because they depend on plants directly, either directly or indirectly, okay? Suppose if I talk about deer, you will say they are herbivores, they depend on grass, okay? So they are directly depending upon plants. They are directly depending upon plants. But if I ask you, what about lion? What about tiger? You will say they eat flesh. So how they are depending on plants? Then I will say that, let's look. This is tree or plant. They are being eaten by whom? By deer. Suppose deer, okay? And deer is prey for whom? Of course lion, tiger. So let's tiger. Okay. So you see the chain. Deer is getting energy from whom? Deer is getting energy from plant, okay? And tiger is getting energy from whom? Deer, okay? But what about plant? Plant, where they are getting energy from? You will say that they cook their food within themselves, so they have energy, isn't it? They get energy from sunlight. They get energy from sunlight, okay? So the plant, and from there energy is transferred to deer, and from here to tiger. Okay, tiger is dependent on deer, and deer is dependent on plants. So isn't it that if deer extincts, or if there is no deer, then the survival of tiger is not possible, isn't it? Because deer is the link between plants and tiger, or we can say that tiger is indirectly dependent on plants. Suppose if I remove this plant and tree, what happens? There will be no deer and there will be no tiger, nothing will be present. Okay, so any organism on this planet directly or indirectly depends upon whom? Depends upon plants and trees. Okay, so this type of nutrition in which we depends upon other organism is known as heterotrophs. Okay, this is known as heterotropic nutrition. So this indirect dependency on other organism is known as heterotropic nutrition, and these organisms are known as heterotrophs. These are known as heterotrophs. If you will go through your book, you'll find this. Okay, let's go through the book. So heterotrophs, heteros means other. Okay, hetero means other. So the organisms which are dependent on other organisms are known as heterotrophs. Okay, see here, heteros means other, and trophos means nourishment. So for the nourishment, the organism which depends upon other organism are known as heterotrophs. Okay, now let's try to answer some of the questions which Paheli wants to know. So Paheli, what she is asking, and bujho. So Paheli wants to know why our body cannot make food from carbon dioxide, water and minerals like plants do. Okay, so this is your homework. You try to solve it out and try to give the answer to Paheli why we cannot synthesize food in ourselves. Okay, like plants do, why we cannot do. Okay, so let's try to answer it. This is your work. Just pause the video and try to answer it. We will discuss in the next video. Okay, mode of nutrition in plants, we come to know that mode of nutrition in plants is heterotropic nutrition. Okay, that means they prepare their food by themselves, isn't it? They prepare their food by themselves. Okay, for what we are discussing about, why they need food, why they need energy. Let's see why they need energy. They need energy for their living, for their existence, for their living existence. Okay, like how? For repairing of their damaged body parts, for their body growth, and energy to carry out life processes. What we were talking about, metabolic activities. Okay, so the same thing. These are the few factors for which food is responsible. Food is required. Okay, so for the existence of life, because we need to carry out metabolic activities, day-to-day life activities, isn't it? Okay, and the bodies and the body grows in size, those who are living. Okay, so this is just because of nutrients we get from food. Okay, so we get from food. So plants also get food. Plants also get nutrition from their food, and they synthesize food within themselves. Okay, so the question will be that where they synthesize food. Okay, where they synthesize food. Let's see where the food factories of plants are located. Okay, see, this is the most common question. So the food factories in plants are in the leaves, not in whole plants, but they are found in the leaves. Okay, let's see where. Let's assume this is a plant. Okay, let's assume this is a plant. Okay, let's assume this is a plant. Okay, so I'm asking you, where is the food factory? Where is the kitchen of the plant? Okay, where they prepare their food? So the food is not prepared in the whole part of the plant. Okay, they are just prepared in the leaves. They are prepared in the leaves. Okay, why is it so? Why they prepare food only in the leaves? Because you will notice that the green part of the plant is generally leaves. Okay, generally the green plants of the green parts of the plant is leaves. Okay, why they are green? Okay, and why they are kitchen of the plant? The answer is that they store chlorophyll in them. Chlorophyll is a pigment. Okay, chlorophyll is a pigment. It is a pigment. Chlorophyll is a pigment. Okay, that's why leaves are green in color, just because of chlorophyll. Okay, and the function of chlorophyll is they entrap sunlight. Here is sun. So the radiation which are coming, which are lying on the leaves, so the sunlight energy or the sunlight are entrapped by the chlorophyll pigment. Okay, they just entrap the sunlight. Okay, and with the help of that energy they cook their food. So for that, what else they require? They require carbon dioxide, CO2, which is known as carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide. They need water, H2O, water. And they need sunlight. Okay, they need sunlight. So by the help of these things, these basic things, they prepare their food. Okay, they prepare their food within themselves in the leaf. Okay, so you can say the main source of energy or the main source of food on our home planet Earth is plants. Okay, because they take energy from home, from sunlight, and they convert sunlight energy, okay, light energy, into this form of energy which we can consume. Because we know that we cannot consume sunlight directly. If it is possible, then why we were having kitchen in our home, you know? So we cannot convert sunlight directly into food in ourselves. So the plants, they have special pigment, that is chlorophyll. They have a special feature, chlorophyll. So with the help of chlorophyll, they entrap the sunlight. Okay, and with the help of that sunlight energy, light energy, and CO2 and H2O, they prepare their food within themselves. Okay, so these are the lectures today, and you will get the homework in the group and try to make 5 things. Try to make list of 5 things. List of 5 things. Okay, let's make list of 5 important requirements for which you take food. Or if I simply ask you to make list, then you need to make list of the result, that why we take food. Make list of that 5 things, and try to read your book up to heterotrophs, and where the food, where plants make their food. Okay, go through thoroughly, read up to this, and try to check out my video again and again. Okay, so let's meet in next lecture.